So, gentlemen, first off, let me talk to you about what happened to me today. Okay, obviously, nothing was really going on in the world of gaming or anything like that. It was just another boring ass, just another day. I had been inundated with work, but I had to carve out a small window of opportunity. Okay, now this small window of opportunity was to basically go and do what I probably should not have done, because this will probably lead me to let's just say the opposite of marital bliss.
A little expensive.
What am I talking about?
Adventure.
I got face on with the old Apple Vision Pro.
Wow. All right.
Got face on with the Apple Vision Pro. So,
let us have it.
First and foremost, I will tell you, if you have not gotten face on with the Apple Vision Pro and you want to, it's a simple matter of going to Apple's website and saying, hey, nearest store, I want to have face on with the Vision Pro. And somebody will sit you down and give you a 30-minute screed as to what it can and cannot do. And they will completely get you into they will after you leave, your wallet will just be sitting there on the table, quivering like a little.
But if I go to my local Apple store, where they treat me like Phil Spencer and tell me to wait till next week, or no?
Now you're putting the cart before the horse.
I'm just asking a
Needless
question.
to say.
And you play Xbox games on it.
Yes, you can. If you want to do it in a browser.
So through the xCloud.
Through the xCloud app, you can totally do that. Now, let me tell you first and foremost, this is not how you look when you're in it.
Okay, so you
not
can't
at
see
all.
Your eyes. You can't see your eyes.
No, you can see your eyes, but see the optics in there, and it looks like, look at the
cameras.
Like, there are cameras all over the place. There is a curved glass. It's all glass there, right? There's a curved lens on the outside that when to set this thing up, you have to basically let the camera of your phone take a 3D image of your face, and it will then approximate your eyes and put that there. So you're not actually seeing through the glass. You're seeing a render of her eyes that Apple has put there to make it look normal. And truth is, right now it sucks.
Oh wow! Okay. I mean,
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, she looks like she's about to go scuba diving, but okay. All right.
But see, that's the thing. It would look good like this. Weird, but good. In actual fact, that LCD is very, very low quality. So you're like, I kind of see it, kind of sort of see it. The ad versus reality is very drastically different. But
all right, here we go.
I'm come to report, depending on your use case, this might be very cool for you, right? I will say, and we're not gonna get too far deep into it, but just the top of the dome, because I literally just left the place like not too long ago. As a isolated dystopian, no one's there, you're always by yourself, watching old memories of what used to be, as well as cool movies. This thing is second to none.
Wow. Okay, but right off the bat, the first thing that comes to my brain because of the price, what am I getting for $3,500 that the Facebook offering or the Meta offering is not?
Very smart question. And what I will tell you is what I told the gentleman who was showing me the demo was, because he asked me for my opinion. What I told him was, as a guy who is a big VR head, there he is.
There you go. Gambling,
there's a reason he's here representing. That's right.
I would show you. I would show you
this
my
guy.
I would show you my PSVR 2, but it's inside a coffin somewhere. I gotta take it out.
Like, what I told him was, they have sold a lot of these.
Yes. Yes.
With that device, that will sell a lot of these, because yes, their pass through, and he agreed with me, right? Their pass through is second to none, like second to none. But is it $3,500 second to none?
There you
I
go.
can still read my phone while I'm on here. I can still scold my children when they acting up while I'm still in VR. I can still do all of that with this. It's not $3,500 much better than what this can do now.
Okay, for $3,500, look, and I don't think this is too much to expect. For $3,500, I'm expecting, like, if I'm watching a basketball game, I'm expecting LeBron James to like walk right at me, okay, dribbling
give
the
you a
ball.
high five.
Exactly, give me a high five, or me to be sitting at court
to be fair, for $3,500, you get exactly that. You get exactly that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Part of the demo was them showing you literally courtside at a basketball game, showing you on the pitch, like on the pitch at a baseball game. You're like right there. You're right, and the quality of the cam is so good. You can smell the freaking popcorn. You're right there. It's so good.
So the
No,
resolution
it's just you eating popcorn.
so the
resolution and the nits combine to create something very crazy. Because you've been to an Apple store. It's a loud place. It's a bright place. There are many people roaming around, right? When I'm wearing this headset, I know when people are around, always, right? That headset, when you go immersive, no one's around you. Wow. You could be in a sea of humans, but no one's there. And the software in the headset knows that that's the case. So when you look around and there are humans there, it starts fading the obscurity and showing you the people in the background. It is, everyone needs to go get a test of this. But then when you do, go buy one of these, because these are the ones that will move you forward. Yeah. That thing is insanely priced. It will get better with time. I would say in 2 years, you'll get a $1,500 one. That's the one you'll probably want. But today, if I didn't have some housekeeping notes that I was going to announce this afternoon, this evening, as I'm about to, I probably would have bought one.
Oh, yes, Lord.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gamers Playground, where we are saving ourselves some money. Because the first and foremost bit of a housekeeping note that I will do is because I will not be here next week on this show, because I will be in the Dominican Republic with the Everborn Saga, watching him get married.
That's
now. Had I not done that and spent that money, I probably would be here looking at y'all with some ugly ski goggles, trying to pretend that I'm in VR.
Virtually now, can't you just AI them in and I don't know, something like that?
That's true.
We'll talk about that one later.
Well, okay, I got something for you before we officially start. So what would have been cool, right, that I would have liked to see is, like, for example, because I'm thinking about the $3,500 price, and I'm trying to justify it for people that are going to buy this. If they were to give you, like, for example, one full season of an NBA courtside, full season of a UFC, package,
they may
WWE, exactly.
What I got from them with this is a dev kit, full stop. Hence the $3,500 dev kit. It's not meant for normal. It's meant for schmucks with disposable income and developers who will then build quality product for it. Like what they showed me at this, that's why I'm like, everybody needs to go and get and go see this thing, because what they showed me tells me that's exactly what they'll do. They literally put special cameras on the top of the various of some recent matches and recent games, and when they show you what, you're like, yo, I'm a fair weather football fan, but for this, I will get the season pass. Like, this is amazing.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
The first experience they give you is Alicia Keys literally singing in your face. It's almost like she spit on you. She's right here, and the pores, like she's right here, and it's like an 8K camera. Right. So those who have used this before know that there's a lot of that content out there you can watch, and you can be in different places and basically experience how it feels like to be elsewhere. Right. I find those experiences in the Quest so far a little lackluster because they don't put the high quality cams, or if they do put the high quality cams, it loses a lot in compression. So by the time it gets to your face, it just does not look right. Right. But they're showing you all the various avenues in the Vision Pro, and they show you like kids in Nigeria playing soccer, barefoot kids. And I mean, I'm right there. Like, the quality, and you know it wasn't staged because their connection is like barely Wi-Fi.
Okay, but I want to know this.
They've
Mr.
added the
Joanna
quality.
Dark.
Yeah.
Mr. Joanna Dark asked a very important question. Okay, does it let you watch the Adam 22 show, or is that only strictly an Xbox thing? I just need to ask.
Y'all need to stop with the ridiculous slander that you're bringing here. We will get to that. We will get to that. But ladies and gentlemen,
you're gonna learn.
Boys and girls, welcome to the Gamers Playground, the show where we attempt to demystify the monolith known as PCMR and make it approachable for all. And this week, it seems that you need us. You need us to give you that virtual hug because clearly there's some issues in them streets, man. There's some stuff going on, and we are not here to judge. We are not here to sit there and poke you with sticks and go No, we do that every week. This week we're here to give you a virtual hug. I'm your host, Mr. K. Asante, TKO Asante, in all the places you find me. And I will first and foremost introduce our guest for the show, a man that is out here taking these internet streets by storm right now. Gaming Arcadia's own.
Getting the shots too.
We'll get into that one as well. Gaming Arcadia's own Gamsley. Welcome, sir. Appreciate you for being here.
Welcome.
You know, I've been seeing you around. You're having some great takes, some interesting back and forths.
Yeah, man, that's what gaming is all about, right? We just gotta have fun.
And I hear you're a PCMR man in your own right, so you are among great company here. So
hell yeah, man! PC Master Race. Forget Xbox. No, I'm kidding. I love Xbox.
God, here we go.
And Gamsley, let them know if they come after you, you are a Taekwondo master, black belt.
Let them know. Listen to me. You come after me, I might have to shout really loud and then kick you really hard.
There you go.
Well, you know, he's being modest and facetious, but check the man out. He's a well-oiled machine at this point. So you better know what you're getting into if you want to get into the streets with this man.
Can't hold the controller very well, but I could certainly.
Hey man, he's got a particular set of skills.
Yep,
exactly.
But of course, I'm also joined this week and every by my brother, the Italian heat himself, Mr. John. Yes,
Italian
heat. That's right. I said Italian.
Latino heat, baby.
No. I said Italian.
Oh wow! You're killing me over here, man. Come on, man.
What's going on, John?
Oh, we're gonna be good.
Oh, he bruhed me. Oh,
bruh. Come on, man.
I was hoping the sound bar would go away and not come back, but here you go. Yes, go ahead.
Listen, if you're gonna call me Italian anything, you gotta call me the Italian stallion, okay? That's
That's just terrible.
Bro. That's mine.
That is terrible. That's terrible. Anyway, welcome. I hope everybody's doing well. John, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, man. As you know, okay, there's hardly any news out there. Very little happening in the world of gaming. As you guys know,
there's no news, really. There's no news.
It's drier than the Sahara out here. But I will tell you that, first of all, I'd like to apologize to everyone for not being on camera today. I was crying all weekend from the latest news that we've had, and I don't want to appear on camera.
Must be hard from your family. Friends.
Just playing, but in all seriousness, we got a great show. I already see we got our usual cast, man, a band of bandits. We have Mr. Joanna Dark already bringing the heat, BT Maverick. You know who we have in here, Kay? We have the Mag. Come on, man.
What's going on, Mag? How you doing?
Canadian,
brother, we've made it. Okay, when the Mag joins us, we have made it. The insider extraordinaire himself. Okay, so we got a fire show tonight, man.
So, okay, usually on this show, we tend to, we keep it fun, we keep it light, we keep the energy up. We want to talk about the PC, we want to talk about the handheld stuff, and we can talk about the handheld stuff. I got the A1 Pro here.
We better talk about the handheld stuff because I got a bunch of those things I got to show you.
Oh, excellent. So there you go. We will delve into those waters as well. But I think we can go ahead and start with the 50-pound elephant in the room. We'll talk about a little bit about this because it seems that if this actually is the situation, it may have lasting effects on lots of parts of gaming, including the PC side of the house, right? And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the rumor that turned into more than a rumor. That's almost like, for those of us that spend some time reading the tea leaves and talking to people in the background that may know better than we do, it's all but confirmed at this point. So what am I talking about? I am talking about the fact that it looks like the perception is that Xbox will start experimenting with putting some of their games onto other platforms like your Switch 2, other platforms like your PS5. And what are we talking about as far as what exact games we're talking about? That's still unclear, but there have been a lot of different games that have been floated. I would say the pillars and game and console gamers, Xbox gamers know what I'm talking about when I say the pillars. You know, your hamburgers, fries, and a shake. Your Halo, Gears, and Forza. that they're almost all are on the table, seemingly.
They were called the.
Now I keep saying seemingly and allegedly because none of this has come from the horse's mouth yet.
Right.
Right. Recently,
Don't worry, he's
what was it?
Diablo.
Yeah. Yeah. Recently, Phil Spencer basically came out and said, "Hey," he announced an announcement.
Yep.
He said, "Hey, I'll discuss it next week."
Yeah.
Right?
God
So
bless
until
that guy.
then,
I gotta be on my grind. I'll fix this later.
And I've seen people on them Twitter streets like take that and really, really go hard with that as well. Pause. Because like I see Everborn Saga and his memes like, "I'm drowning, save me," and then the guy goes, "I'll see you next week." And their pieces of stuff like that. You know, for obvious reasons, the community has felt a lot of ways. There've been a lot of feelings.
Very uneasy. Very uneasy. I think it's
there've been a lot of feelings. A lot of and I think I want to start from the top. Let's start from the top. And you know what, Gamsley, I will let you get the first crack at this apple. I let you get the first bite. And what I will tell you is there are many opinions on this stage, dissenting in some, right? And all are welcome here. I will put a poll in the chat. We will get that started. You know, I feel that this is virtual hug time. This is virtual hug time for those who need it, right? But let's talk about it. Let's be frank about it. And let me be absolutely clear here, okay? When I started, damn right, the Twitter timeline is on fire. Right now, it's like your phone is about to explode. Don't check spaces. Like, stay away from spaces. That is the kiss of death at this point.
Yes, very toxic.
If you go into his spaces, you ain't coming out.
You're not getting out unscathed anyway.
Listen, you're gonna catch a console war STD for sure if you go in there.
Oh, like 100%. Stop doing that. Stop that. So, Gamsley, I'll let you start, right? I'm sure you've been keeping your ear to the street, as we all have been. What was your first thought when this first hit your radar? What was your first thought? Like, oh my God, it's over? Or okay, and then kept it moving? Or something in between? How'd you feel?
Yeah, so I'm surprised I'm still alive from the first podcast I talked to about this. But my first.
Do you have the bump sound?
Yeah,
you needed that one.
I wish. But no, it's PTSD now. No. When I first, it's not true. When I first saw the news, I had the same reaction. I was like, okay, interesting, because a lot of people out there are like, okay, you got all these things you have set up, right? You're like, it's finally coming to a boil. You put some pasta on the stove. Hey, you're Italian, right? Wolf. So you put this boiling pot, right? You're like, oh yes, it's boiling, and you're like, I could finally put the pasta in. I'm not gonna do the racist stuff, but you gotta put the pasta in, all right?
Come on, Nintendo does it. It's fair game. You can do it too. Mamma mia! Go ahead.
This amazing. Hell no. I'm gonna stay away from that one. But
hey, if Nintendo does it and they keep making all the money, then it's all fair game. I'm sorry. Continue.
I agree with that.
They could have it. You're about to put this pasta in. It's boiling. It's like cooking. Maybe you mess up a few times, right? But it finally looks like, oh my God, I got the perfect al dente taste. I'm ready to serve this thing, put the sauce, they put it in the plate, they're ready to serve. And then all of a sudden, there's rumblings about a critic coming in that hates your guts. That hates your guts, about to just ruin your restaurant.
Did you just watch Ratatouille or something? Because you're like kind of going over the plot.
You're going piece by piece.
Yeah.
And as a man with children who has seen that movie recently, great movie. Continue.
I'm on it, no? Because last time I went the direct route and I got killed.
Oh, stop it. Keep going.
No, but for real, like, you're about to serve everything and this critic comes in and he's gonna roast you, right? You know it. But you can't help it. You gotta just stick to your guns. Unfortunately, he has a lot of say. And that's where I get it. It's like, we're angry because we finally get the games to be able to switch a narrative, to finally get that like 5-star restaurant rating, right? We're about to get that. It's like, oh, this plate is exclusive to this restaurant. We're finally gonna get it. I get it. And then all of a sudden, it's not exclusive to this restaurant. This chef's gonna go everywhere and cook this for everybody. And it kind of sucks, and I feel you on that. So what I'm gonna say is that I'm gonna go.
Don't calibrate your thinking, sir. Don't calibrate.
No.
Trust me, you're good.
No, I'm getting.
Let it ride. Let it ride, brother. I'm good.
So I just want to start by sympathizing and understanding. I love Xbox. I've been on Xbox forever. I mainly play PC. I hate PlayStation. I hate it. I physically can't use their controllers, even their accessible ones. I physically cannot. I hate the controller. I hate their design. And their games, yeah, they're nice, but they don't grab me, okay? Just like a lot of people. So I get that. Xbox will be okay, and that's what I was trying to get at. My whole point with my other angle is that, the platform is Xbox. The platform is Game Pass, right? That's the thing. Right, that's the value proposition that they're putting in front of you. In
console
my mind
PC, process, in other words,
yeah, but that's Game Pass, right? If you had it, like, that's a customer that they lock in and they keep, right? So if a game like Starfield goes to PlayStation, okay, fine. We're like, as Xbox fans that have the same mindset that's been on Xbox and platforms like PC and Xbox this whole time, if that thing goes over there, does it really screw with me? No, because the value is Game Pass. I'm like, okay, they could have it,
so
but they have to spend a lot of money per game.
Let me be the surrogate to some of the chat members, because I know I've had some debates with some of the people in our chats, and I've heard some of their thoughts on it. So let me push back on this aspect real quick, right? And we will get into everyone's feelings on this properly, but here's where we go. So what do you say to those who say that their problem with it is not necessarily the back and forth, if you will, or it won't bother me if it goes there, because those who have chosen this platform as their main, and that would be the console platform, the console Xbox platform, right? Have stayed with them for a long time and built brand loyalty and affinity, because the powers that be there have shown themselves to be the type of people to push for you and have your back in that way. In that, many of them still to this day don't have every game they want, because third parties are kind of wishy-washy with what they place on that platform, right? And the idea being, now you put your games elsewhere. Now it's I call that the green bubble, blue bubble thing. The number one thing that is the most craven thing that most people don't understand is that the fact that you have a green bubble and blue bubble, it's because your iPhone is debilitated, not because it has a super feature. They have locked you in by taking away a certain protocol that lets you not communicate with others.
Right.
And you see that as a feature, not a bug. Right. So what this would do is artificially limit you to what options you have. But that way, it then also forces those third parties who, if they want your business, they have to bring it to this platform. So the minute you don't lock them in artificially, Now they have no incentives to bring that game there because your pool is too small anyway. And then those who've stuck with you for as long as they have now have an island where their past library lives, but no future will be there because, hey, I don't need to go there. It'll show up on mine. What do you say to those?
You know what? Look, see, this is why I love conversations, is because I love the back and forth, because if you could convince me, you could convince audiences as well that are sitting in the chat, you know, and if I can convince you, then vice versa, right? I could calm people down. So I love this question, and that is the thing that I can't, like, you have total merit. You're scared that we won't get served the third-party food. We won't get
and let me be clear. Let me be absolutely clear. Shout out to Lucius Augustus in the chat. That is his point, not mine.
Right.
He and I have debated many times. I'm being a surrogate for him because that is his number one point. AKA what I've been saying. There he goes. It is number one point. And that's the point where when he and I debate, I have nothing to counteract him on that.
And Gamesley, let me add one more thing to that because it's specifically with the third party, and I think that Hargeet may have told you this also earlier on the show you were earlier today. The fear is that as the console space of the Xbox business becomes what many fear as obsolete. Let's say that they sell even less than the Series X and S. The fear is that a company like Square will say there is zero incentive for us to put anything on the Xbox console or the Xbox Windows Store or Game Pass. What do you have to say to those people with those fears?
See, man, it's valid.
Valid, right? It's valid. Yeah.
Yes,
But continue. Yes.
Oh no, yeah. But we're not there yet. So what I'm trying to is in that boardroom, right? So all these again, I'm just playing as the bean counter, right? In that boardroom, they're might be artificially kind of throwing themselves off because they're like, oh well, we could sell more here, we could get more numbers here, we could get more numbers here, and we could get more numbers here. But at the end of the day, okay, they see the big, huge picture where if they keep a neutral line, so they said themselves in many times, right, that they hit a peak on consoles and they don't see that their peak on consoles can go further, right? If they keep that neutrality, right, and they're able to send a message, right, somehow, because remember, the message is not yet that every single thing is going to leave your platform and go somewhere else day and date, which is very important thing, right? It's a metric that we don't know yet. We're not there yet. And I get the outrage that you want to preemptively get outraged. All of you guys yelling, keep yelling, because they should be listening, right? Because
it's useful. Yes, it's useful. Yes.
Preemptive strikes like that is why maybe Xbox might shift the course here. But they look at it and they say, we can keep steady on the consoles because we're going to still win in revenue, because it seems like consumer behavior is pushing towards Game Pass, and no matter where games, like if you're an Xbox fan, you're going to want their games, and you're not going to buy a $4.99 console, buy everything that PlayStation has plus Xbox games. No, that's not what the main consumer does. They go for value. So if I like Call of Duty, I'm going to go where it's easier to play Call of Duty. Where is it easier to play Call of Duty? Xbox. So they're going to go look at that and they're going to be like, okay, Xbox, but it's also on PlayStation 5. Then you're going to go to a retailer and he'll say, well, Game Pass has Call of Duty, right? And then they're like, oh my God. And it's a flip of a switch. They're going to go to the value proposition, right? We agree that us as the hardcore are very, it's a small portion of the grand market that is everything else. You know what I mean? They can't even capture most of the gamers in the world, which they're trying to do. So we're a small fraction of that. So if they could just stay neutral, double dip, right? Because in my opinion, in my sight, I see that they keep neutral on the console space and they start just, staggering releases and get that FOMO, because they know FOMO works because they've done it with Forza. They've done it with, Halo and stuff, that they see that FOMO works, that we can't even wait 3 days, right? Us Xbox fans can't even wait 3 days for it to unlock on Game Pass. We buy it. PC gamers buy it. Other people might buy it too, right? So that's like the thing. FOMO, if I start stagnating, let's say Starfield for 3 years, all right, on other consoles, I just want to double dip and grow my brand that way and keep an open mind. And I want to reach as many people, you know. Meanwhile, do you think people are going to actually jump ship? Do you think, like, as they're feeding all this exclusive time, you know, kind of this exclusive mindset where you eat this first here right now, if they keep that mindset, we get Pal World get Pal World as they come, we get Square Enix as they come, blah, 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 everything's showing up. We get day and date with these third parties right now, neutrally, 50 million consoles, let's say, or 35 or 20. If we start getting these partnerships, start growing it, stay neutral here, and keep growing Game Pass, you know, you think that's going to change if Starfield, you know, in 3 years goes? So
let me put a little bit, and this is not me hedging, because believe it or not, you and I have a lot of similarities as far as our thought process in this, right? But I have analyzed why that is, and I listen to everyone and where they're coming from in this conversation, and I feel that your predisposition determines your reality. And I'll tell you how. Like, for me, right, I am both a console gamer and a PC gamer. These days, more PC than console because my life demands it. But when I can, I will play on the console or whatever. But I have always been a multiplayer gamer. By multiplayer, I don't mean that by multi-platform. Like, I agree. Let's keep it a buck. I'm trying to be real here. Trying to keep real here. I bought a Mario Wonder, dumped it from the SD card so I could play it here at a better frame rate.
Oh shit!
Okay, and then I also played it here so I could play it at 4K 60. When Halo, you could clip me. I pay for my stuff. When Halo didn't have ray tracing, I put it here, loaded the reshade so I can get ray tracing on Halo.
Right.
Like when you and John Wolf can concede, when you break out of the artificial limits they give you, all of a sudden your perspective broadens. It's not about, this is where the console lives. It's about, what device can I get the content that I want? And because of that perch that I have, I'm nonplussed by any of this news.
And get it where you want, and get it how you want it, by the way.
That's where
screw y'all.
We understand.
Yes. I'm nonplussed by this news because, PlayStation, Nintendo has exclusives. Not in my house, they don't. It played great on the 4090. It is what it is, son. It is. Like, you know, you guys are going to have to wait to Switch 2 to see what I have seen day one. And that's just the way it is. But if you happen to have options, then your thought process in what's happening kind of shifts a bit. But if you don't, or if you're one second, John, or if you're a person who really chooses this platform, because I've always enjoyed, I'm a tech guy. I've always enjoyed, hey, this is the new tech. Hey, I like this. I have 4 different VR headsets that do the same thing, but one has better optics. One has better hand tracking. One has this. I am that guy. So for my perch, this is unfortunate. Where I'm sad about is the Xbox ecosystem is a community. They have cultivated a community. They literally will come on our shows and talk with us. Aaron Greenberg has been on our shows and talk with us, and they've cultivated all that. And the hardcore fan base, the fan base that they have cultivated, feels like during those years when the narrative was always against them, and it still is against them, because don't look at IGN, don't look anywhere else. All you hear is Xbox bad. So what happened? Mr. Boomstick happened. Colt Eastwood happened.
Hell yeah.
Like, all these great voices happened that will counteract that narrative. Now, but those narratives were built with those community members. They were built with those community members to counteract that narrative. And what happened there is they started a war, as you do, because from kids on the damn recess, it was like, mine's better than yours. And that continues to this very day. And with this, with this move to them, it's like, hey, you know, we stuck by you when no one was sticking by you, when all the narratives were going against you. And now here we are, and you're leaving us high and dry. Go ahead, Gabs.
But what did every single one of those podcasts just say in Spaces and other podcasts?
But see, that's the thing.
Hold on. That no matter what happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even the worst case, they just admitted to the worst case scenario. No matter what happens, because you're a hardcore fan, you go where Xbox is, and Xbox is everywhere where Game Pass exists, and
not for
we
long.
sell our games. Where we sell our games. Where we sell our games. Now, hold on.
Yeah.
To John's point, if Game Pass goes away, look at me in my face. If Game Pass goes away, and they go third-party stuff like flippity floppity everywhere, then you're dead. I agree with you. Then I'm gonna be on this podcast being like, the fight, it's gonna burn, because that's bad. Because now you're screwing the ecosystem. Now the ecosystem's not as pretty, right? And even if your games are pretty and whatever, the ecosystem's not pretty. So then you completely lose the platform. But that's not what's happening here. The ecosystem isn't flying out the window. It's not. The community's still here. So you guys, us, Cult, whatever, they're coming because Game Pass exists. Communities follow Game Pass. Communities follow the Xbox games, right? PC is part of their plan. They literally say that's a platform. That's a platform for us, right?
Yep.
So these don't go away, guys. They don't go away. So in a reality where what we're all scared of, that the console goes away, Xbox is probably dead. Or they completely won because Game Pass, their ecosystem is on other platforms, and those platforms cannot compete with it. And that's when they win even more.
Let me chime in.
Go ahead, John.
Okay, let me chime in on something, because
Please.
Okay, Gamsley, very important question, because I know Kay Asante's answer. How long have you been gaming on PC for?
Gaming for ever, very, very young.
Okay, so very young. So you grew up on the PC space just like Kay did. I'm fairly new to the PC space, so
he is literally this gen, really, for PC.
Yeah.
This guy,
This is
Nintendo, really, but yes.
Well, this is my first ever generation of being primarily PC. PC handhelds, Steam Deck got me in the door. Kay Asante kind of advised me, hey,
call me your Sherpa. I'm the Sherpa.
Give me. I hope you know, Gamsley, in this community, I was probably the first one to own a Steam Deck in my hands. Okay, and I sold.
And
it
then
the
he
week
sold
after.
it.
And I sold it the week after.
Why?
Okay? Because of this thing right here. Because of being,
because it didn't have achievements. It didn't look like an Xbox. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
So I found myself.
That doesn't help this.
My friends list was completely empty. My game library was completely empty. I felt like if I was an outsider on an island. Okay, it didn't feel home to me. The breaking point where my brain finally said, "I've had enough of this," and asked Kay that I completely switched full time, and I started really giving the Steam Deck and PC a chance. Okay, was when I started noticing the experience that I was having on my PC compared to the Xbox and even my PlayStation. I started noticing that I had kind of outgrown what the console space was offering me. Not that I'm saying that the console space for the price that you're getting, it's not good value, but where I am in my life in gaming and gaming my whole life since I was as old as I can remember, I being a console gamer, that's what I thought was everything. I thought, hey, I'll never be able to own a PC. I hear about all this great things about PC, but it's too expensive. Number one. Number two, I hear people talking about that they're always
the drivers.
Problems. Yeah, they're always having problems, and I'm hearing all these things. Which now, when I fast forward, I laugh because it's not true at all. But coming into this conversation, understanding where these people were, because I was there just 3 short years ago, where I probably would have been hosting the space, really upset at what Microsoft is doing here.
I'm on the hill. I'm about to jump off the bridge. I got no parachute. Let's go.
Right. Here's the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. And there was two avenues that I was disappointed with Xbox with this rumor that's been going around. Okay, my disappointment with Microsoft and Xbox as an organization are two things. Number one, and folks, here's the thing: this is a 100% me problem, and I think that many people have to identify. You got to look deep inside, and you got to say, is this reality or is this a me problem?
One quick thing. Lucius Augustus says, John Wolf, it's gotten a lot better, but trust me, gaming on PC used to be a hassle. Says the man who probably did not blow on his on Nintendo cartridges. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to do that. Hashtag gray beards. Let's go.
So where I'm going with this is that
you're playing the game. You're halfway done with the Zelda, and then mom turns it off between you get home, and you're just like, oh god, you got to start from scratch. Consoles had problems. I'm sorry.
Or you're on World 9 in Mario Brothers, and the power goes out.
And the power goes out.
And you're done. Okay, so those are real world problems. Okay, so no memory cards. No memory cards. So
your point, because is still I don't know.
Okay, so the thing is that the two main reasons why I was so disappointed in hearing this news, even for the last month, because this has been a month of ongoing rumor here, rumor there, is that I'll wake up one day and in my new reality where I have PC handhelds, PCs, consoles, emulators, emulation devices, everything, I'm perfectly okay. This doesn't bother me. But then my brain is trained to think like the console warrior as well, and it does bring out the Latino heat in me. And the reason that I have smoke for Xbox right now, with this whole thing is because, to me, you guys have been battling for 20 years to kind of overtake what is the imaginary title in gaming, the championship belt. You're all but ready to do this, okay? You and you do not need to provide your competitors with any goodness. You shouldn't, okay? Because they don't provide you with any goodness, but you want to take the easy way out and you want to give PlayStation and Nintendo the goods so that you can make the money. You don't want to work for it. You don't want to work on getting your console up to snuff and market it in a way that people can want it. I understand my console warrior brothers, and not even console warriors, even people that are invested into the Xbox hardware being disappointed at this direction. I totally understand it.
I get you. I'm not telling you to be happy about this. On the top, I said you should yell your feelings. I'm here to kind of just say I think it's going to be okay, and I'm coming with a little bit of a reason spin. And I know people hate reasons, but
speak on it. I want to hear that. Yes.
I know people hate the reasoning part or trying to cope with the thing, but you said imaginary trophy because it's a fucking imaginary trophy.
Exactly.
It doesn't fucking matter. And you know what they are winning right now? They're ready to win-win. They're ready to win-win. And here's the thing. This company already, I think Q2 is winning, right? I mean, Q2 was massive, right?
Well, but Gansley, there's a question. There's a thing though.
Revenue.
What is the definition of success? Because I don't think the same definition of success is the same for John as it is for them.
Well, you see, $1 trillion success versus Sony's $1 billion success is very different.
Yes.
And what they prioritize is very different because their $1 billion success is fully on Sony. So they have to reinvest into Sony. Okay. It's not the freaking same thing between the trillion and the billion.
Yeah.
So I understand those things, but right now the metric is that the revenue is going up. They're seeing growth where if you see their other things like Surface and all that stuff and Windows Phone,
it's not.
Give it a shot. Instantly losing all the time. It's losing. All the potential is always losing, right? They looked at that. They're shooting them in the foot. They're saying, you know what? Surface, this is where I'm going to superhero for you guys.
Please.
You don't take something that's growing in revenue like Xbox, and they saw it, they bought it, they see it, they see the thing, right? They're like, we're going to leapfrog these guys, right? As they like to say, as King David likes to say, we'll leapfrog them, all right, with a big smile. They're about to leapfrog them and probably already are. Their quarter 2 is probably bigger than Sony's right now, okay? For Xbox. This is an Xbox,
yes.
right? Xbox.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you think that them having a foot in the door, or I'm not even going to phrase it like that. Let me help you think a little bit critically. If I have my foot in the door as that $1 trillion company and I see massive potential for growth, and I have this neutral line with hardware that, yes, it takes me some money and blah, blah, blah. I see that console growth is and stagnant and whatever, but my potential is high. I'm going to make sure that I'm the biggest guy in that freaking room. I'm going to take that foot, fucking push the door open.
Yes.
And I'm going to support, here's not what you're going to like. I'm going to support the ecosystem, which means PC, Xbox,
console, other platforms, anywhere you are.
I'm going to do that. And in return, here's the thing. It's scary at first. But once these people, oh yes, look, we concede. But once these people realize every year, because the hardcore is going to stay the hardcore. We already distinguished this. We're FOMO, guys. I don't believe you guys for a second that are going to hop ship and go to place. I don't believe you. So the hardcore is going to stay the hardcore because we all said that, right? We're going to play on PC if we have to. We're going to get Game Pass if we have to. We're going to stay on our Xboxes. We're going to make the same content, blah, 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 the whole spiel, all right? We're going to stay there. And if you think consistently, let's say, games keep going there, right? They get a Call of Duty. They're like, well, Xbox got Call of Duty, for cheaper or on Game Pass. Again, if Game Pass goes away, fucking shoot all this window out the window. But they get avowed like this big game that got a 90, it's on Game Pass day one. And then the next game, Indiana Jones. Okay, we get Indiana Jones, but it's 6 months later, but that thing's a fucking 90 on Game Pass, right? And you go years and years and years and years like that. Even if they go multi-platform with some of their games, all their games, I don't give a fuck. All their games, okay? Let's say, with a stagnated launch. This is a very specific scenario, which if I could think of it, I'm sure they're
first or best on Xbox.
Yes, first, and on Game Pass. And that's just the thing, right? I think that's the thing that's going to happen. If we are really, really thinking critically here, I don't think there's anything to worry about because I think hardware sales to a certain point, at a certain point, will lean a little bit more every year towards an Xbox. For those kids that are going to Christmas, to the parents that don't have enough money to buy a PlayStation and then say, well, I'm going to pay full price for every single thing plus third parties, because we know the average gamer plays like how many games, Kate? How many?
Like 2 or 3. Isn't it like 2 or 3 a year or something? I think it's 2 a year.
Right.
Am I wrong?
And most of them say the percentage is not even their own games, right? We could say that.
No, yeah.
Right?
Usually it's third parties or free to play.
So if the narrative is so heavily based on like FOMO and saving money and Game Pass is the thing, and that platform is a massive platform, right? It's a big name, right? Things are going to shift. They're going to shift. It's going to take time. It's going to shift. Now, here's what I will say. It's a balancing act. Like Hargeet said, right? It's a tipping skid. It's a very steep fall off the cliff, right? I agree with him. But what we're speculating. What if that cliff, I could speculate anything. That cliff, what if it never comes? Then there's a bigger rise for Xbox.
All right. Look, I can only speak for myself and for others that I have spoken to that I always like to talk to my casual peeps. Because I think that their voice is very important. First, let me tell you my thoughts, and then I'll tell you about my casual friend. My thoughts.
Yep,
I'm literally looking at my Xbox Series X right now, and being a gaming enthusiast, I'm blessed enough to be able to have the income to have the convenience of saying I have a 4070, I have 2 gaming handhelds because I have a Steam Deck OLED, and I have the Asus ROG Ally, and I still have a Series X because I want it, because I like the way I just like consoles and gaming stuff and tech and all that. But I understand if someone were to tell me that's a waste of money, why don't you just pick one? I understand that. And if I was in the situation where I can only have one, I am probably going to say I'm gonna pick the one that has the most games since I'm a gamer. So now Xbox just made it a lot easier for me to make that choice, because if I buy myself a PlayStation, right, I know I'm gonna get their stuff a little later, but I'm willing to wait because I'm gonna get the whole plethora.
Go ahead, Gans. Reply.
I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying. I agree with it. But counterpoint, right? Counterpoint. If you are talking about money, and let's take all of this out, okay? I'm going to clean slate it. Clean slate, John Wolf, okay? You love, I don't know, past Xbox games, because that's who we're talking to. And even the casual, let's say. We love Xbox games. Activision is associated with Xbox. We know Call of Duty is always going to show up there. Let's say we're putting all the things that we know now, right? Game Pass maybe has Call of Duty and all the games that Xbox people like. Xbox being the brand, Halos and all that stuff. So we're a clean slate. We're walking in there. We like Xbox games. We have a budget. We buy 2 games a year or something, right? Because that's the thing. You have a budget, so you must not play a lot of games, right? You really gonna say you're gonna sell yourself out on the cheaper option with the games being sold and purchased cheaper? Like, everything's cheaper on Xbox. Even if you would think of it like you're thinking of it, well, yearly by year, okay, well then you could just you honestly still save money if you get an Xbox with a Game Pass, Xbox Series S.
I will also once again hedge and say a lot, and I've heard the argument from people that they don't jump into an ecosystem because of the value. It's the exclusives that get them in.
They got everything, baby. What we don't get is they got everything. Okay, put Spider-Man against Call of Duty. Okay, fine, do that. But guess what? Call of Duty is Xbox, and Call of Duty won't change. Oh, but I could buy it there. No.
It's still
Call
Xbox.
of Duty versus Xbox. Call of Duty versus Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What do you want, kid? I want Call of Duty. Well, guess what? $15 Call of Duty. And so
here's the thing. Here's the thing, and clearly, and I will now give of my opinion. Clearly, we know.
Because John didn't finish, and I loved what he was saying, because he has a casual side to it.
John.
Yeah, well,
finish the casual.
Let me just say this, Kay, and I'll let you get your bars out there. So the second thing, right, that I was gonna say was that when you take a look at historically, all right, most of us like me, being 8 years old and being entrenched in the console war marketing of Sega versus Nintendo, and then seeing PlayStation take over the playbook.
This is what I'm trying to say. Okay? This is exactly what I'm trying to say. Continue.
PlayStation taking over that playbook. I grew up in console war, the middle of it. I grew up thinking that it's us versus them. That's the mentality that people like me grew up with. So when you tell me, it sounds alien to me when you tell me that that Nintendo is thinking about putting Mario on a PlayStation. That doesn't exist in my world. I don't know what that is. Now, don't get me wrong. This stuff is me being outside of that bubble and into the emulation scene and into the PC space has eased myself. I've eased myself with those things, but it's still there. It's still in my fiber. I still think it's wrong.
Do you know what? So you're talking about generational things are important, right? So I was about to say Kay and I and you, we're a generation that's kind of almost at the ending of our
y'all just won't let me say my points because you keep stealing.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Kay, but I gotta get it out. I'm gonna get fucked. So
you go.
Gabley's hosting the joke, okay? What's going on here?
Yeah, okay, sit down, man. No. It's a generational thing, right? Well, like that's like, okay, well, I'm gonna tell my kid about it, and we're ending our kind of legacy. Like, there's gonna be another generation after us that grows up, right? That we tell our kids, blah 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 blah. But guess what Xbox has right now? What does Xbox have right now? Tell me. Xbox, all right? Nintendo is a beast. They work all the time, and maybe they're gonna be the exception to this whole rule that they literally have generational IP that are probably never gonna go away, right? That's really hard to do. Xbox is, look at the communities they just got. Generational communities. World of Warcraft, Blizzard, Activision, Call of Duty, right? They have all these big IPs that they now own.
feel it's not enough to compete.
Minecraft.
That's the problem.
No. Minecraft, right? And they know that in the future, a future thing will happen where all of this console war stuff is going to be nonsense at some point, or to a very small minority of people that won't be loud enough to dictate millions upon millions upon millions upon billions. I'm pretty sure. They see that future coming. So they see a digital future, service future. They see something. They just got to breach in a little early and try to start setting stuff up, which they have been expertly until now, until these rumors start to float around. Because remember, folks, we're not supposed to know that in the boardroom, they're like, when do we go third party? But the point is, they were always, all right, to grow and to go above gaming and where it should be. They have the communities to reach much more people than Sony ever has with these things right now. Well, so the conversation later was always going to be, hey, where do we put the things to get the most eyes, to grab them into our ecosystem, which they're doing. Ecosystem meaning Game Pass and whatever hardware that is, right? And we're going to win that way. And I think they're going to win that way. And we're going to win. So, we're going to win that way as well.
May I interject?
Go ahead.
Yes. Go ahead.
I need to interject because I think the fundamental problem here is the gamer / consumer's metric of success versus the $1 trillion company's metric of success. And they are completely different metrics, and you don't like it. But I've spent $50 last weekend sending many super chats, and I said one thing and one thing alone over and over and over again. And if you're on the show, probably you heard me say that. We are the graybeard horseshoe makers, and the Jetsons just flew up in the upper atmosphere. That's what just happened.
The best one.
And we're like, what the hell? What the hell's going on? Oh my God, what the hell? But the Jetsons just flew overhead.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like Mr. John Wolf is saying, you don't want to compete. You don't want to you don't want to do it the right way. The right way is the old antiquated way that needed to be that way because there were single-use devices that couldn't do anything else but play that game. And back then, they were using custom code that forced them to make you come to them because you couldn't go anywhere else. Porting was an actual beast. Now it's a it's a green bubble, blue bubble debate because they're all exactly the same. They're just lying to you about, oh, this is only available here. No, it's not. It's an x86 device like any other x86 device. They're just artificially limiting you. Just like they went forever physical and then they turned it off and everybody's like, oh no, physical. They stopped making real CDs in the 360 gen. All they're giving you is a hex key, frisbee that they're charging you for $70.
Oh, and chat, we hate that shit too, right? Well, okay, you're not fighting. Look, Kay, if we could hold on to that media, I truly believe there's something beautiful about anything physical. I hate the whole cloud thing. That's another discussion entirely.
So
we're not.
So that's a different conversation.
It is a it is a future thing.
Now we can have that. We can have that side debate. But what I will tell you is, if you want to own your media, you better find a way of getting it away from the corporation. That's the only way you own it. Only way you will own your media is if you can separate it from the corporation that dictates it. There you go. Right?
I know what that is.
If you don't do that,
nice.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Now, Steam, you don't own your media. Any day, Gabe can go, any day. They won't, but they could. It doesn't matter what library. I have 500 plus games on Steam. It could go like that because they decide to. So if you want to own your media, you better find a way of taking it out of their grubby claws so then you own it. Right? Then it's yours. But if you read the EULA, they'll even tell you on page 85 that you never owned it in the first place. You're just paying full price for a license that they can revoke at any time. So this is what I'm saying. The metric of success is different for us than it is for them. Right? everything, and I began this debate with all these people many weeks ago, going, it is bad, but yeah, I understand where people are coming from, but my perch, right? I don't come from it the same way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I think is happening here is the fans who are not the console warriors are just like John Wolf is saying, they have been trained on the status quo forever and ever and ever. That has been the model forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that you, Microsoft, and here's where I stand with my troglodyte console heathens. You, Microsoft, you finally you cultivated a community. You did, right? You promised them things. You stroke their egos a bit.
Yeah.
when their recess buddies were kicking dirt in their eye because they got greatness. You were kicking, you were stroking their ego. And the moment the thing you promised them seems to be coming to fruition, now they're for the streets. Basically,
way too early.
Way too effing early.
It's
the DRM. This is DRM 2.0.
If we hear from them, look, this is what's going to happen in 2 generations, a generation and a half. Don't tell me that. Give me a new paradigm. Show me that. But this today is like, oh, they brought you to the dance. You finally got there. They're finally on the cusp. They've been waiting forever. Wait next E3. Wait next E3. Wait next E3. And now,
and they pull out Adam 22 on you.
Yeah, we're not supposed to know this right now, though.
But here's exactly. But here's the brass tacks of it. Okay. Does anybody remember Xbox Live?
Well,
where is Xbox Live these days?
That's a great point.
Buried.
It hasn't changed at all.
Shout out
it's still around. What's going on, Boomstick? It's still around, but Xbox Live is called Xbox Network now. And while it used to be the front splashy thing on every device, now it's literally the thing in the backbone doing the work, and no one talks about it. It's not about any splashy. It's still there though, because without it, you wouldn't be able to connect to things.
Can I say something, Kate?
No. I let y'all say many things. It's my turn.
Go ahead.
Today, you will see a world. What's happening here is those of you that love your consoles are going to continue to love your consoles. But there's a world where your consoles go the way of Xbox Live. You won't like it.
Mm-hmm.
You won't like it. But there's a world where your consoles go the way of Xbox Live. They exist, but they're not the splashy. Who talks about, ooh, that movie on the Netflix that I watched on my Samsung TV was amazing versus the one on your LG TV? Nobody gives a crap where you watched it. The content is the king. And unfortunately, unfortunately for Microsoft and unfortunately for Xbox, that's not their message until now. This is a pivot to that, right? They have when everyone was basically downplaying their capabilities, they used this community to keep them afloat. And they did that by selling them the idea that one day you too will have a leg up. Console person, you will have a leg up. And as soon as it's on the tip of their tongue, you go, yeah, we're giving it to everybody. Right? So this is where the pain comes in. This is where everyone's all, no, it's over. But let me tell you, A, it's going to happen. And B, you're going to be all right. I can't get into too much of the details, but let's just say that this is Microsoft. They don't think this year. They don't think next year. They think 15, 20, 30 years from now. And when you are $2, sometimes $3 trillion and your money longer than anybody else's money, you have foresight and you can do that. If you have a library today, your library may not look like it did last time with all your physical media, but trust me, your saves will be all right. Your library will be all right. Deep into the future. Deep. And I'm saying that deep, generations deep into the future, you will still be able to cultivate and have every single game you used to play. I'll hedge it and say maybe some contractual this and that may drop 1 or 2 Z's on the back end, but your library as a whole will continue to go with you, even when Xbox turns into Xbox Network, which goes into the background. So I am here to give you the virtual hugs, but I see us as the graybeards who are just so upset that the status quo is changing. But I'm sorry, people. We are living in a world where this is artificial. And you just heard them say, what was it, last 2 weeks ago, that they are the most profitable company on earth. How do you think they get there? By leaving money on the table? Because you need the list war versus somebody else's list war? They could give a crap about your metric of success. Their metric of success, as Gansley's expertly pointing out, is revenue and profit. That's not your metric of success. It should be, though, because if it was your metric of success, then you'd recognize that that equals more games that you might want. But you want the metric of success that's defined by PlayStation and by Nintendo.
Longer life cycle by your company, your ecosystem. Like these guys, for the first time, see the revenue go up, and they know they're safe now. They could breathe a little bit.
Revenue is a four-letter word for a console gamer. They don't care about your revenue. Right? They've been taking it on the chin for ages about, we had Spider-Man until we didn't. We had this until we didn't. And now the moment you're close to it, now all of a sudden, you see my point? So while I am you, I'm literally with you because I will play here. I play my games wherever I want, not where they make me. And because of that, I could give two about this whole situation. But I get where people are coming from. Because you made them promises.
Even more important.
You literally held them on a string for years. Wait for the next one. Wait for the next one. It's going to come. Point. And here we are. Go ahead, John.
One more point to add to what you're saying, because you're 100% accurate in everything that you have said. And Gamsley, when you were leaning towards that direction, completely see where you guys are coming from. But here's where I'm going to give Microsoft some smoke that is justified.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Here we go. So, Latino Heat moment. You guys, you guys in Xbox, listen up. You didn't you guys go through a generation called the Xbox One where you learned that your messaging, if it's not done correctly, can cost you a lot? It can cost you fans, it can cost you money, it can cost you relationships, it can cost you partnerships. And you're gonna fast forward to the year 2024 after you have done so many good things to bring up your brand and to have it in a point now, which is exactly where Kay Asante is saying, that is on the cusp of something that all your fans have been waiting for over 10 years.
You promised them. That you promised it to them.
Exactly. And you're gonna mess up the messaging again. This is the part
where by the way, when people call you out about your messaging, you go, oh, they're just console warriors. That's what gets people up there, and they get really angry.
So I totally understand the Tim Dogs of the world that have tapped out on them. I can fully understand, because I'm going to be honest with you. Again, there's days during this month that I have woken up that I've been completely fine. This doesn't faze me. And there's been days that I wake up and the console warrior brain turns on, and I'm like, why are they doing this? This doesn't make any sense. I don't like this. And I will. And
you know why that it's Xbox's fault for that, right? Because John Wolf is thinking the way Microsoft has made him think for years.
Exactly. So it's very hard. They don't get a pass from me for this. The reason that they don't get a pass is because even though that I saw the Xbox One generation play out, and I saw that what they were trying to offer at the beginning of the generation was where we are now. This whole DRM thing, we're living in it. The Kinect, we have Alexas in our home. They were in the forefront.
They see the future.
But what happened?
They see the future.
But what happened?
It's messaging.
The messaging wasn't there. And how you make that mistake again, that instead of coming up with a strategic, precise, calculated way of selling this vision, okay, because that's their main purpose to do. Let me give you an example of the masters at work. When PlayStation was going to give you bad news during the PS4 generation, what was their bad news? hey, we're not going to offer you free online anymore. You're going to pay $60 a year for that. How did they disguise that announcement, Kay Asante? They announced
they announced a game or something, right? They announced something.
No. Very strategically, what they did was that they first said the price of the console, $399, while everybody in the auditorium of E3 was celebrating and cheering.
Yeah. Because Xbox had higher version at the time.
Under their breath, they said, by the way, you're going to be paying for online starting with the PS4. And
but unfortunately, look what you're doing, though. Unfortunately, look what you're doing. You're determining the rules of engagement by the market leader and the status quo.
But hold on, because here's the thing. And this is the frustration always with Xbox as a brand. They always step on the rake for no reason. So what would I do if I was in this situation? Because this is a shit show, all right? I fully expect them, but I know they're not going to do this. They should assure all the worries that the community has. They need to come up front and center with good news after good news after good news, and then hit you across the head with the bad news. That's the way you do it. But they're not going to do that.
But you and I both know they have never had that muscle. They've never had that capability. They fall backwards into good news and pick up bad news on purpose. That's what they do. I am known as the guy who has coined the term. They always pull defeat from the jaws of victory. It's what they do.
Absolutely. So it's very hard. And then this Adam 22 energy that they have going on about this whole thing. Okay. This to me, and this is where the Latino Heat competitive nature comes in. Okay. And Gamsley, you should know all about competition because you compete in Taekwondo.
Bring it out, baby.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. You're a black belt and you've competed.
I want to hear some different languages come out.
Why is Xbox deciding to take their talents to Miami and join Dwayne Wade and LeBron and Chris Bosh and pull hold on though and pull Kevin Durant and join the Warriors? Yes, it's smart. Yes, it's going to make them money.
They're not joining the Warriors, man. But they're not joining the Warriors. They're owning pieces of the teams. They're owning pieces of every team.
I don't disagree with you, but you cannot expect but you can't blame people for being upset and looking at it as cowardly. It's cowardly.
Absolutely. They're looking beyond you. Like, look, there's the boxing fight, and he should be this one. They bought the whole building. They bought the stadium, they bought the cruise. They don't care who's boxing at this point, right?
Granted.
Please, Gamsley.
Yes. So here's how long is the podcast usually?
We go about an hour and a half. We have a few some time. We can go.
I don't know what you want. Okay,
we can quit. Yeah,
so
please go.
Then I want. Okay, so in the cleanest possible way, I want to know, because I know me, but I want to know from Kesante and John, what is your ideal future path for them? So we know that something's coming. We have all these ideas, what they can say and won't say and whatever. I want like a really straightforward, what should they do, end goal, how they should do it, how should they message it, if they're going like multi-plat here and there. I want
some stuff
first.
Yeah, some stuff I'm going to say and some stuff I'm going to theorize. And it's just going to be, y'all gonna make your determinations on what side of the house I fall on. Here we go. Let's see how I can thread this needle. So you will get a hybridized console. You'll get one of these because they're paying attention. You're going to get one of these. You're on my
wavelength, man. What are you doing? Get out of my head.
No. Hear me. Y'all are getting one of these. Okay? And when you get one of these, it will run Windows. It won't run the Windows you know, most likely Windows 12 or a flavor of it. But unlike the Windows of old, where all the full flat energy of Windows is on here, you get a modularized version of Windows, almost Linux-like. So instead of loading everything from day one, which then I have to hack my way to claw back resources, you will get a modularized version that will only give you the UI for this operating system. Now, if you are a PC dude and you are like, hey, I don't like this console thing. I want to open the door and do more things. Yeah, that's capable because it's one device, one operating system that can run on this or my beast over here. One device. And in that future, where's your console? It may not last. It may not be around. But guess what? Every single version of Microsoft's version of the operating system up until now is a piece of software. It runs like software. That's all it does. This is what I do on a daily basis. I play with hypervisors. That's my bread and butter. They have virtualized all of their hardware all the way back, including the current gen, right? And they use Hyper-V. It's a lower level version of hypervisor that they run. If you have Windows 11 Pro, you can actually play with it yourself. They give you access to do certain things.
And their messaging.
What they will do, well, the messaging is a different thing. We'll get to that. What they will do is there will come a time where you hit the button on your Windows 12 PC or your Windows 12 handheld, and guess what you're doing? You're playing Xbox. Exactly Xbox. The UI, the front end, your saves, everything. Because guess what? It's the easy way. All you got to do is find a host that can handle a lot of the output. Because when the host can handle it inside the operating system that's running the game, that's x86. Even if the system is ARM, even if the system is in your hand, in its brain, it thinks it's still running Series X or Series S. And you know that because you do that today every time you try to play a 360 game. Every time you play an OG Xbox game, when you see that splash screen, you think it's just to tell you something. No, that's the hypervisor booting up to spin in a world where it still thinks it's running in Windows.
Which is really cool, by the way.
Right?
It's freaking awesome.
That's what will happen.
Better and better.
Here.
It's getting better and better.
Exactly. That's what will happen here. And when that happens, all the consternation of where's my library? It will follow you until the end of time, as long as that operating system exists.
Yeah.
You have no worries there. Now, the worry about what about my third parties and all of this and all of that, some of those are really concerning, but let's be frank. They don't care if you live on PlayStation. They don't care if Steam is your main platform. You want to play there? Go for it. As long as they get your cha-ching, they mark that as success. What they don't mark as success is, we bring PlayStation to heal. No, they need PlayStation. PlayStation is useful. If PlayStation was debilitated and on its knees tomorrow, they would give it a helping hand because without PlayStation, they are now the big evil empire. What did they do when Apple was about to crumble? They helped Apple up because they need someone to hide behind or they will never be able to buy and move forward. They are the big evil empire. They need PlayStation. Okay? Messaging. What do you see them doing? They are cutting things left and right. What are they doing? They're streamlining their message. They're streamlining the ecosystem because guess what? Everyone has always dissed them for bad marketing. Will you ever diss COD for bad marketing? Hell no. They are the masters of marketing.
Well,
and what did they do? They bought
I don't know
COD.
about that anymore. We'll see this year.
What do you mean?
No.
See, well, because they're Xbox now?
I mean,
penalty, cam jam, siege up. Anyway, go.
Well, I mean,
that was Korean.
That was what? Korean?
That was Korean.
and I don't mean to give them.
Speak and I don't Dutch if you want.
And Kane, the thing is that I like the future that you're selling.
It is the future that will happen. It's just, will the console mains be patient enough to let that come to fruition? If people don't go, I hate y'all, and just throw it all away, this is the future that will happen.
That's the tipping scale.
Can you? Okay, but I cannot. I can't blame those that are going to react to this because again they fumbled the ball with the messaging. If the messaging if the messaging was as you are explaining it, and Phil comes out and he has a splash screen in back of him saying in 2 years, in 2026, we will have this. So be patient with us. I believe that people will be patient.
Remember what happened in the Series S? It was out before they even mentioned its existence. That's what the thing they need to fix is not their messaging. It's the freaking leaky ship. It's the leaky ship. You don't know this. This doesn't exist yet until they present the beautiful. Remember, Series S had a whole like splashy 30-minute thing that no one ever actually got to see. I got to see it because I data mined it.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a good
you
point.
can actually argue. You can actually argue that the Xbox people themselves seeing these leaks and the leaks happening is actually
Yes.
doing way more harm than good.
Yes.
But you can
Yes.
argue it, but I don't know.
Yes.
But this is
So,
again, this
yes.
is a multiverse, guys. So this is a multiverse.
Yes.
So that's your
Absolutely.
multiverse, Kesante?
It's not necessarily my multiverse, but it is the tea leaves that I see that the stepping stones that they have laid. But depending on how money moves in this environment and the money men and how they appease them and all that, and how people act, like how because look, I'm sorry, real quick, the console mains, I know you guys are feeling it. I feel you. But some people go too far and ruin it for everybody. And then the people who know nothing about gaming will look there and go, see these troglodytes? These are the people whose feelings we're supposed to take into consideration?
That is
Get
true.
the hell out of here. We would rather be EA, where the game comes out, you buy it, you don't give a crap about us. We're just collecting the check and you move on about your day. That way, you're not sending us death threats to our developers. That way, you're not literally like hanging on every word and getting ready to rip us apart. I want to touch on Sarah Bond before we move on real quick. Yes. Sarah Bond will send a message and people will skewer her in social media. She's just sending a genuine message. And you think this behavior will make them go, oh, we need to make sure we cultivate our hardcore. Yeah. They'll say our hardcore is just get these people out of here. And even if we lose them in the short term, in the long term, what we'll gain is peace of mind.
And Kay, you know what gives them the confidence to do that? That now they have Candy Crush. So they
have Call of Duty.
Exactly.
And Call of Duty. Absolutely.
So now they really don't care.
Okay. John, you give us your take, and then we'll end on Sarah Bond, and we'll talk some other things before we get out of here. Go ahead.
Gotcha. Okay. So for me, the way to kind of clean this up going forward is to have next week a very concise, digestible presentation or event. Phil said it's a business event that they're having, clearly defining where this brand is going. I think that a lot of people need reassurances. Like for example, like you touched on what they're investing in for backwards compatibility for their libraries, etc. I think that they need to touch on what they're going to do in hardware, give assurances that there will be hardware that keeps on coming out, because I think that's important to a lot of people. And ultimately, just if you're going to do this, there needs to be a benefit to your consumer, to your fan base. You need to give them the perks. Sell them on the perks. What are the perks?
What's the perks? Well, you tell me what the perks
what
are.
Okay.
What are your idea of perks? It's that.
Okay. So take a page out of what PlayStation did and say you're not going to see a game like Starfield on PlayStation for at least 2 years. Okay. So 2 years. Okay. I think that 2 year gap is a nice little window. Okay. Now, whether that happens or not, I don't know. But remember, here's the problem that they're facing and that they have to overcome. This is the third mishap that they are having this generation. Third. And that is what's leading to the frustration. So there's people saying they can come out and they can promise the world. We don't believe them.
We don't hear anymore. That's right.
We don't believe them because they came out at the end of 2021. Yep. They told us that in 2022, all these games were coming, and they delayed everything.
This is about getting great experiences where Game Pass exists. We've heard that a billion times.
And
the minute that game comes out where Game Pass doesn't exist, everyone's jumping off the plane. They got no parachute on. Yes. Even if they do, they're cutting cords. They're just like, that's what's happening.
So this is what I think, and this is what I predict in my multiverse. Yeah. And I hope I'm right. Phil comes out. The very first thing, how does he reassure the core audience with hardware? They announced a refresh available this summer. Refresh console. Okay. Number 2, they announced that they are working on a hybrid device starting that's going to come in the future. That's another way to get people excited about.
So hit him with the good news, good news, good news. Oh, and by the way, third party. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. And then the bad news, okay? And then the bad news is, yes, we are putting select titles on PlayStation and Xbox, but and Nintendo, but the guarantee that we're giving our consumers as an Xbox loyalist or customer or whatever, you're gonna have a 2-year window. If they can come out and they can reassure the community, I believe that they are going to save face and it won't be as bad as we are seeing today. If they come out and we leave that event with more questions than we had going in, oh boy, they are in big trouble. I can see it going really bad.
So how I understand this then is that you're okay with the thing happening then.
Yes,
like you're
of course.
okay.
There's nothing we can do about it, of course.
And also what I could glean from it is that I like what you said. I think if they show us a roadmap of hardware, because our concern is hardware right now, hardware related and losing the hardware kind of race, people being sad about their console. If you come there, and I agree with you, if you reassure that reassure people, hey, look at our plan, boom, Xbox Series, I don't know, XX.
I hope not. Then, oh God.
How about a triple X, huh?
And then,
no.
And it has free with Lena the Plug videos.
Exactly. And you're like, look at this thing. And then you get like the mini guy, and you're like, along this, so in halfway towards this triple X, double X, here's your portable system. And is like an ally and whatever.
We are triple X, double X.
We are not giving up on console gaming. Like if they say that, just say that, I'm pretty sure
that might get a long way.
Anger, because I think that's a common thread that I'm seeing here is that that hardcore fan thinks that's gonna go away and fucking the hardware is gonna blow up, and then the fan base is gonna blow up, and then third parties won't support. Like, I get it. So maybe that's what they identify, and I agree with you. If that would be super strong, if they come out and they're like, here is a hardware roadmap, and don't worry, like we said in 300 interviews, case by case might go to other platforms and reiterate. I don't know, 6 months for smaller titles, 1 month, 3 years. If they shit,
that might change things.
Maybe we're okay, right? How about you? Well, I'm already okay, but John, do you think you're okay with that?
What do you think, John?
I like, to me, like I said, if they come out and they give these reassurances, I think that the community as a whole will heal over time, because they will see
our hearts will heal in time. Exactly. We might have more respect. Maybe one day we'll go out on another date, but for now it might be a little too. People are taking it so personal.
But right now, but here's the thing: right now, for those people, it's game over. So
I know.
Reassure them that it's not game over.
I've had Discord debates that have lasted for hours and two in the damn morning, and they still fight it. Like, oh boy, so people feel it. And these are not idiots. These are not fools that feel this way. These are not console warriors or just throwaway. There are people who genuinely feel betrayed, who have a right to feel betrayed.
Okay, let me give you some props real fast. I want to give you props because I want to say that I'm not feeling that way, and I think it's thanks to you, because you broke me out of that shell of giving the Steam Deck a second chance and then jumping into the PC waters. So I totally get that, but I also gotta be with my brothers because I know what they're feeling.
Me too. I understand. I feel for them. Now, Floodzilla asked a very interesting question here, and I will dovetail this into the Sarah Bond conversation real quick, right? Now you can or cannot choose to partake as you see fit, and you'll understand what I'm talking about when I get there. Flood asks, I'd like to get Keasante's take on the Halo Kente armor tweet. Now, for those who don't know, Kente is my authentic cloth. It is, if I had, actually, yes, hold on a moment. So, this is Kente. This is West African style. This is West African, right? When we talk tinfoil kufis, this is what we're talking about.
You're talking about the style or the material?
The material and the style.
Gotcha. Okay.
Both of them, right? This is Kente, right? And it seems that every Black history, they roll out something that is authentic to my people, and they go, "You like it, don't you?" You like it? It's nice, right? Yeah. So ever since Sarah Bond has been put into this position, you know what? I will strike the match and say, since Black Lives Matter, since that whole thing happened, and it's basically brought people to their knees and stopped business for a few days, and people had to contend with that whole thing, right? They have pushed Miss Bond to the forefront, and I've appreciated that, because she's the very intelligent, very capable, absolutely fantastic, dynamic person. Would be great for her to be in this position,
and she deserves it. She's worked for it.
And since that time, all I keep hearing more and more on the streets without accountability, which is X, is just like people who are saying the inside things outside, racist asshats. Oh, it's a diversity hire. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. And every time, no matter what you say about it, or no matter what you think about Xbox, I have always stood by them, because they seem to be very, very forward-looking in the diversity. They're looking at hiring developers in all these various countries. I want more voices to speak, and they are championing that. You've heard me speak so great about Tales of Kinzera, Zao, games that are being made by Africans, for Africans, and for everyone, because these are voices you need to hear. GTA doesn't always have to be from California. It could also be from Botswana, God forbid, wherever the hell it could be, right?
Yeah.
I want more voices, right? So I always stand firm, and I always appreciate that Microsoft does these moves and pushes them forward, right? But with this whole move, putting her as president, and then basically taking all her agency away from her, her job is basically to deliver that message. Because when Phil became in her position, and please follow me here, when Phil was in her position to get the Xbox to where it is now, yes, there's a lot of movers and shakers in the mix, but no one will deny that the reason why the brand is where it is today on its height is because Phil championed it and pushed it and brought it to where it needed to be. He fought the good fight to get them there. Can anyone say she has that same capability in that job now? All she is a mouthpiece to deliver the bad news.
And
with that, everything now has turned to pandering to me. So to answer the question, how do I feel about that, Ken? It pisses me the fuck off.
Rightfully so.
That's what it does.
Rightfully
because
so.
How can you put this person in this position, tie her hands, and go, well, you're the leader now of the Titanic. Oh, by the way, I'm the one that steered it into the iceberg, but you have to deliver that message. Fuck it. It's so.
I got you. And Kay,
It's the only place where I just get.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that smoke is justified, because we had a conversation on our Discord this past weekend, which, by the way, cheap plug, join our Discord. I put the link there a couple of times. All right.
You'll hear a lot more swearing on that Discord.
Yeah, for sure. So
it came up like 300 times.
The smoke that they rightfully deserve, you are giving it to them, because not only are
that's the part that upsets me.
Not only are they handicapping Sarah Bond in this new position, but let's think about this. Just let's not think about conspiracy theories or that things were done on purpose. But I'll give you one example that you and Everborn touched up on, which I found very shocking. At the Game Awards, no recognition for the new president of Xbox.
So give a quick background on that. So real quick, if you look historically at the Game Awards, every time the Game Awards starts, and if you don't have to take my word for it, it's all online. Just go check real quick. The opening minutes of the Game Awards. It happens every year. What do? Oh, we have the president of Nintendo in the house. Everybody, oh, we have
Mark Cerny. Cerny.
They do that every year. They've done that to Phil many times. This one becomes president, and nothing.
And
He's sitting in the crowd. She's sitting in the crowd.
Oh my god!
Nothing.
Wow. So I didn't know she was there. Like 100%.
So let's
in the crowd.
It's so that's just something that it just makes you question, right? It's not. I'm not gonna say it was done on purpose, but it makes you question. And let me be clear though.
Let me be absolutely clear about what I am saying. Okay, I am upset at myself for always defending the corporation to the racists, because now I find myself angry that I have to side with the racists. Oh, diversity hire. Oh, pandering. Oh, I I have to. It is my instinct to defend. And when you make moves and basically tie her hands behind her back and force her to be your mouthpiece to deliver your bullshit message that she has no agency or control over, now all those assholes that have been spreading that FUD online have a point. And it angers me to no end.
And here's the thing, right? No, whether it was Sarah Bond, Phil Harrison, Matt Booty, whoever it is, I would, again, a learning experience that I would think that they would learn from, especially Phil coming into a sinking ship and having to go through the battles that he did.
But at least he's the one who made those fights. He took it upon himself and he saved it because he could. He was given that agency.
He's about to get another fight now.
But here's the point. But here's the point that I'm trying to make. In him experiencing all these things, how are you putting, and it could be timing, but how is Sarah Bond's first assignment to get out of this shitstorm? Why didn't you give her something good to say if you knew this was coming?
Maybe that's what's happening.
No, but see, this is the thing. It's not about giving her something good to say. Nobody give Phil something good to say. They handed him the keys and say, have at it. Good luck. No one is handing her the keys and saying, have at it. They're saying, here are the keys, but you can only go 30 miles an hour this way.
Right.
That's what they're doing.
Right. But
whereas they handed Phil the keys and said, have at it. And then he can save or sink it as the leader.
But do you get what okay, let me put it to you like this. As a senior team leader for my investigation team, whenever there's a new hire of an investigator that gets brought on, okay, I make sure, because I've been in there in someone new in a new person's shoes before in my organization, and I know how many systems, I know how confusing processes are, etc. I do my best as a leader and as a coach to make sure that I put that person in the best possible light to succeed when I set them free. Okay, this is not doing that for Sarah Bond. You are starting her with the most negative news that you can possibly start her with. And how do you think this is going to go down? Because whether it's justified, unjustified, or not, she's going to take the arrows as the president of Xbox. And it shouldn't be that way. So I was relieved. I was really relieved when Phil came out today and he put that tweet. But Sarah is still feeling the effects of it, even though she is
even if she's not the one who will be delivering the message, it's still her ship now. So everything will be like, and I've already seen it online. People, as soon as she posts anything, that like all the betrayed masses are like,
there you go.
And I'm just like, we all know this had nothing to do with her. Right. She is basically like nothing, but somehow because you're the face of it.
They made her a target.
This is my problem. Shout out to the man, Fuzzy Belvedere. He's saying, now you see why I hope she would replace Bobby Kotick prior to Xbox. It's funny you say that, right? Because there were some conversations in the background back in the day where, she's basically being groomed to take over Phil's job. Now, I doubt that.
Okay, who reports to her on that structure?
So there are structures of people that report to her. Like the thing you saw was not like it was a public one. There's another one that has a lot more people. And if I'm not mistaken, Jason Ronald is reporting to her. Because remember, he is to the Xbox brand. He builds the Xbox hardware, right? The hybridized thing will come from a different department because that's PC/hybrid. If you're talking hardcore console, you're talking the Wizard, right? Jason Ronald, salute to the Wizard, right?
Gotcha.
So there is a structure there. Absolutely, there is. It just seems that she's being scapegoated. She's being put to use the skills that she showed us during the trial there to kind of quell the masses, even though the issues are not hers.
Do you want to know how they fix this? In the
Please,
event,
tell me.
In the event, you have her highlight the future of hardware and services.
Yeah.
She doesn't talk about the negative at all. She only talks about the positives because if you think about it, those are the positives. Okay. So then Phil is the one that needs to take the arrows and say, what I told you all, we're walking it back. He needs to be the one that says that. And what we know about Phil, he most likely will. He most likely will.
And mark my words, ladies and gentlemen, there was a world, and Gamsley was rightfully talking multiverses. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the president of PlayStation, Miss Sarah Bond.
Or hey, it could happen. It could happen.
Just saying, if you don't respect us, maybe we keep it moving. If you ain't getting respected by Burger King, what's the place you go to? McDonald's. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I
Right?
have nothing. Yeah, as a diversity hire. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna lead in. But I don't have much to say about that because I really am not educated on that thing, so I'm not gonna speak to it. But I hope this woman like the best, man. I hope she's.
I just think it saddens me because this company that they're a corporation. I have no allegiances to any corporation. You've heard me say it a million times. If you are solely focused on that.
What about Gabe is calling, sir? What do you mean you have no?
Says the man with the Steam Deck OLED that I don't own. Calm yourself, good sir. Let's keep it moving. But anyway, actually, it's good that you bring that up. Let's put a pin and we'll say, for now, that may be the extent of our conversation about this, but clearly this will happen some more because they're going to actually speak and then we're going to hear what they say and then everybody's going to analyze what they say till forever and a day.
Bring me back, Asante.
Oh, absolutely. But before we get out of here, sir, you mentioned Handheld. So I want to ask you, sir, what are your favorites? I need to know.
He wants to know what you're packing. Goodness. What you packing, Gams?
What am I packing?
Oh my God, what are you talking about?
Can I go run? Okay, so give me a second. Give me a second.
Okay, go ahead. Do your thing. So this is the part of the show where we as the Iron Lord say, we ask you to show your build.
Show and tell, baby. Show and tell. Okay, by the way, I have before Gamsley comes back, I have the Odin 2 up and running.
Oh, I'm jealous.
It's
you got the Odin 2.
It's really good, man. Really good.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's see what you got.
Too, huh? All right. So first, I got my lovely little. I got my Legion Go over here.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
Okay.
It's fun. It's a fun thing. It's not my favorite. But it's fun.
Okay.
I also have a Steam Deck at home that my brother uses all the time. And also my favorite though is JPD.
Oh, the WinGPD. Nice.
The man's got the skills. All right, we know who this man is.
Yeah.
Welcome to the PCMR, ladies and gentlemen.
100%. I love
how much, dude? How much does it remind you of a PSP
Vita?
Yeah, nostalgic. Yeah, it's very nostalgic to hold. Obviously, spoiler alert: I have a disability. It's awkward to hold because the PS Vita and the PSP and even the Switch, those are very thin consoles, right?
Yeah,
very thin, sleek consoles. And for my hands and my positioning and how I hold something, those are better. So if it's any thicker, I only got 2 fingers. Thicker, right? It's really hard for me to hold. And this
difficult
thing is
to hold on
to.
Yeah.
It's a look at my. See my finger? It's a chonker. So just reaching that analog stick is
difficult. Yeah. Yep. Understood.
I have this thing, and it's rocking. So it's very light. It's a lightweight. There's no, Aeonea space in it or freaking Legion space. Very light software. And that's what I love about it. It just boots up. It's smooth. It acts like a computer, and that's what I like about it.
This is my main driver because of exactly what you're saying. It's light on software. I can put in it whatever I want. The battery's a monster. It's got 64 gigs of RAM and 2 terabytes of storage. You don't need anything else. You're done.
Yeah, that's a beast. and you're future proofed.
Yeah, exactly. People listening right now are like, we're out. I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
But see, listen, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know what we're talking about, if
PCs.
and when the hellscape comes and your consoles are devalued, this is what will save you, because this can give you a very good console-like experience while still being able to game the way you want to game. So that's why we're asking that the tent is big, baby. Everybody's allowed to join, right? You don't want to go this way. There's so many options for you.
Feel betrayed.
Speaking of these other hardware things, I'm going to make this 3 minutes. I have a Meta Quest 3 and I'm super excited for the AR. The head tracking and finger tracking on the Quest 3,
good is it?
like the eye tracking on on the Apple.
Oh, you mean on the Apple? Oh, okay. So real quick,
eye tracking, because that's a big thing for me as a that needs access a little bit of
yes, and you need to be able to do this. Yes,
yeah,
so
because
I will say to you
on my Quest, it just shows me 5 fingers. It doesn't know what the hell I'm doing.
I will say to you, this thing you need to go check it out. You need to go have eyes on. It's free. The eye tracking is insanely good. Like insanely to a detrimental degree, because I'm having a chat with this guy and all of a sudden the mouse is I'm just having a chat. Oh yeah, this is very interesting. All of a sudden all of my interfaces go because I'm looking everywhere.
Wow.
Like my interfaces are up because I'm I'm using my hands, because all it needs to do is see you do this. Literally, this is it. And it selects. And you look at it and you do this and it's selected. You look at that, you do it, it's selected. You do that. And if you're talking and you're not controlled, it's like, woo! It's like literally but if you can work it out and understand what you're doing, it is transformative. Now, what I will say before we get out of here, there's a reason why my Quest 3 has a back strap here and it has the battery and all of that. And this is not even that heavy compared to that thing. That thing is heavy. It's about a pound on your face. It's about a pound on your face. Bro, it is. I spent less than 20 minutes in it and I felt it when I was done. And I work out in this thing and I've spent 40 hours straight in this once.
That's a no for me then, man. I have some freaking hardcore injuries that with my neck and my back and all that stuff from So they did say to me that there are third-party head strap options, and they themselves have a better head strap. It's just not sexy, so they don't show that one. It's the one that goes through the middle as well as to the back, and that then evens it out and gives you a bit more level. But ain't nobody trying to mess up their hair to do VR, so they just show the sexy one, which looks cool, but it's front weighted and it's just heavy. It is heavy. Yeah. Okay. But you gotta try it, because if eye tracking is important to you, their eye tracking is next level. Oh my God, it's so good. It is next level. But I think that's about the end of the episode, ladies and gentlemen. We usually run about a buck and a half, an hour and a half, but today this was a show that requires some. We needed to give you virtual hugs. There needed to be some tough love. Yeah, there were multiverses. There was some tough love. There was some virtual hugs, and best of all, handheld. I think that's a good. That buttons it up. So Gamsley, the door is open to you, sir. You are here. You are always welcome back. The man showed his GPD win, and we were like, let the man. He took his shoes off. He grabbed the beer. We good. Like, come on. My analog pocket. Come on, man. I'm sucking up.
And his analog pocket, which I'm jealous, because God forbid you try to go pre-order that thing. It took you a year and a half to get that.
Crazy,
thing.
Dude. Those things are like a hot commodity. Let me tell you.
Yeah, absolutely, and they are brilliant.
Huge gamer, like actually.
Excellent. Huge. And you know what, Gamsley, what I want to do one of these days is have you back and talk about gaming from somebody from your perspective, someone who can't necessarily game on everything, right? How that feels. I was talking to some to Cerebral Paul, who's also big in this community, talking about like he's telling me about how Game Pass was really great for him, because not every game works for him, and you won't know until you actually get into it, because his disability. It is super interesting to me how everyone approaches that, and and because we're all trying to game, and not everybody has the capabilities that everybody else has. So it would be super interesting to have you back and really dig into that a bit. But I appreciate you being here, sir. Tell the fine people about Gaming Arcadia and where they can keep up with you. Maybe subscribe to your stuff so we get your follows up.
Yeah, so just follow Gaming Arcadia on YouTube. I host the Xbox Series podcast each and every Thursday at 3 p.m. EST.
Y'all changing the name?
No, that's what I was gonna.
Everybody's changing their names.
The Xbox third party.
Hell no! I see that there's bright future for Xbox. So if you just like the Xbox games, or you like their whatever platform or virtual platform, whatever you want to think about it, come chill and hang out and talk some games. That's what we do. We don't do console war stuff. We try to stay away from that. And we just focus on intellectual conversation, or try to have an intellectual conversation and laugh at each other at the same time. So come see us do that. My co-hosts are Deadly Headley, and of course, Asa from Game On Daily.
Absolutely.
So watch that.
Yep. Another
also,
VR brother.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on Boom's Monday show at lunch for Xbox.
Excellent.
You
Yeah.
guys know where to find that. And follow me at Gamsley TKD on Twitter and Anthony_Capello on Instagram. That is my sports side. So if you want to see me as a chiseled god, go check that out.
Oh wow, this man. All right, yay.
If you want to see if you could kick my ass, go there. Yeah, that's all I got for now.
I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. John Wolf. Mr. John Wolf, the man. I have to throw you some flowers your way, sir, as well, because this conversation, this debate, all the back and forth. I've heard a lot of takes. I've heard a lot of people in their fields, but one individual I have heard be able to take himself out of the picture, be able to analyze his feelings, and still be able to understand what's going on. Be able to really look deep and go, look, this is why I don't like it, and I understand it may not be the logical path, but this is how I feel, and you being honest with us and your public, and I appreciate you, sir. I don't think I've heard anybody else do that. Everybody else tries to shroud it in justifications. You're just like, you know what? I'm a console warrior from way back. They made me that way, so I don't like this.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yes. Because I think that people look, and you know me, Kay. I'm always. It's okay to admit that you're a gamer and you're a fraud. There's nothing wrong with that. They're gonna look how many consoles. Look around your home right now. Whoever's listening to this,
yes.
How many consoles do you own? How many copies of Destiny? How many copies of Destiny 2 do you own, for example? Okay, we're all frauds, guys, and I think that sometimes we try that in our minds we formulate the truth to be an absolute and the way that things are, and you have to kind of remove yourself from the equation and say these are my thoughts and this is what I think, and also be humble enough to admit that if you were running things the way you wanted to, would it turn out the right way or the wrong way? That's the question that people don't ask themselves. So I love like Kay, you know me. We do this show on a weekly basis. Gamsley, thank you for coming on the show, brother. I know you had asked me sometime in December, and we made we made the time now, which was perfect timing. And guys in the chat, thank you so much for always joining us and having conversations with us. And this is what I like. I like to engage in conversations because all three of us, we didn't agree on a lot of the show, but you know what? We still had the conversation, and we can still walk away saying, hey, you know what? I learned something, or I can see something from a different point of view. So, Kay, I know that you're going to be on a few shows this week. We are going to have to, let's do some housekeeping with the scheduling. What does our schedule look like in the next coming weeks?
So we will most likely not have a show this coming Monday because I will be in the Dominican Republic. Watching Everborn Saga tie the knot. It'll be a beautiful affair, and my wallet will be emptied all at the same time. It is what it is, but we're gonna have a good time doing it. But while we are away, if you want to catch up with our ongoings, check out the Discord. It's in the chat right now. That is where we have these conversations until 2 a.m. sometimes, and it's just like the damn podcast. But we drop nuggets in there from time to time.
It's unplugged. It's definitely unplugged.
It's a little unplugged, yes. So come join us. It's always a fun time. Mr. John Wolf, I know that you'll be around. I may not be able to have the show with you the coming week, but we'll work the logistics. Maybe we could talk about it. We'll do something
for sure.
But yes, it has been an awesome time chatting with everybody. I think this is a useful conversation. I think this is a necessary conversation. If you heard this and you disagreed with us, I appreciate you. You have every right to have your opinion. I don't give short shrift to anyone in this debate. That is what I have learned, that not everybody comes from where I'm coming from, and as such, they can't think the way I think. I've learned a lot from people talking about how important this is to them. I didn't know in many respects how important this was to them. And I'm not talking about the console warriors. I'm talking about genuine people who have genuine concerns. So here we will allow all that kind of debate. We will allow all that kind of talk. So thank you guys for being here and keeping that up with us. When they actually do their official announcement, we will probably talk about this some more, but we'll have some more meat on the bones to really dive deep. But until then, it's been a great time having this conversation with you guys. For myself, Mr. John Wolf, and the great guest, Gamsley. Thank you for being here, and until next time.